on behalf of Lake Forest College, thank all of you for coming and giving up a little bit of your evening tonight. We so appreciate you doing that. I'm incredibly excited about this partnership between the City of Lake Forest and Lake Forest College. The idea of providing small businesses with the opportunity to mentor, give back to the college and the community, and at the same time having these young minds, provide the businesses with these, the whole concept of the minds and the ideas of these young minds. It's really a win-win for everybody. It's just really exciting for us. I want to just take just 2 minutes before I introduce the groups. A little bit about the project itself. As Susan said, we started at lunch last summer, and this has kind of grown her can-do attitude and my big ideas, and here we are tonight. The overall goal of the whole project itself was for the students to analyze their small businesses, really take a look at them and put together a recommendation, a comprehensive recommendation, a marketing plan, and maybe something that these businesses can really use in their business right now, some tactical ideas. The process started back in September, where each one of the student groups met with their respective clients, more or less on a fact-finding mission, trying to find out what's going on with the business right now. From there, they met over the course of the semester with their respective businesses several times, kind of on an as-need basis, whether it be electronically or whatever, to gather, again, more information and get more insight into what was going on. Mid-October, the students provided each company with a company analysis, a situation analysis, providing each one of the small businesses with some, what I would call valuable tools, such as a pest, a competitor analysis, an industry analysis, and also a SWOT. And then after that, students really sat down. Okay, this is where they really put their heads together, white piece of paper, and came up with the recommendations. Creative strategy, you're going to see creative strategies tonight. You're going to see creative concepts. You're going to see media strategy plans. It's everything that they could come up with over the course of the semester that they could recommend to these particular companies. Now, they finished all their work, and that's what you're going to see here tonight. This is a culmination of the entire semester of work for them. And I think that they are ready to go. We have 3 groups. Each presentation is going to be about 25 minutes long. We're going to have an opportunity at the end of each presentation for some questions, if you would like to pose some questions to them. And then we're going to have 5 minutes in between each group to allow the next group to get situated. Okay? So, without further ado, I am going to start off and introduce our first group. I'm going to call them Group 1.
Cool. Well, thank you, Professor Jaffe. How are you all doing today?
Great.
Good. Well, we are so very excited to present to you months and months of hard work into producing one of the best advertising campaigns that Lake Forest College has produced. I would first like to introduce our team. My name is Scott Sanford. I am a business major here at the Lake Forest College. I'm also a senior, and I'm the PowerPoint director and creator of tonight's presentation. I also like to introduce Abby Fliss. She is a communications major. She is also a senior, and she's our creative director and is also going to talk about the design process of our advertising campaign. And then last but not least, we have Stephanie Esposito. She is a junior, and she's also a business major, and she's our media strategist, and she's going to be talking about how we are going to implement this advertising campaign with our company. And we had the absolute privilege with working with a company that produces high-quality, all-organic spice blends and also offers insight into how you can use those through slow cooking. And the business we worked with was the Zen of Slow Cooking. And I'd first like to give a shout-out to the company. Meg Barnhart, can you please stand up? Thank you very much. She was a pleasure working with. She's the founder and co-creator, and then I'm sorry that your partner couldn't be here, Jane McKay. She's also her sidekick. She's awesome as well. So let's get started. Let's talk about the story behind the Zen of Slow Cooking, starting with the mission statement. The Zen of Slow Cooking wants to offer a mindful intention to slow cooking using whole foods and transforming your preparation time into a space for reflection, this is, to them, this is known as the Zen of Slow Cooking. They want to do this by using their vision statement, and they want to offer success in the kitchen with simple, straightforward, whole food recipes prepared in less than 20 minutes. And they're going to do this with their objectives, and they have 4 objectives. The first is offer a sense of balance. This balance is going to offer gone all day dishes you can make in the mornings, and then also afternoon preps you can make after you send the kids to school. Second, they're going to offer dishes, recipes with the seasons. Now it's starting to get in winter time, so it's more of the warm recipes. Third, they're going to offer variety. They're going to offer more formal and informal recipes that you can make with their spice blends. And last but not least, they're going to offer insight to a more mindful approach to just cooking instead of just whipping things together, stuff like that. So now let's talk about the products that Zen of Slow Cooking sells. The company sells an amazing bunch of spice blends that they have originally created. The first is called Coco Vaughn. This goes great with red wine, also chicken. Next they have a Moroccan tangine. It's more of that spice and spicy, spicy tangy. It's great, goes great with chicken. Trust me, we've had it, it's great. Next is an Indian dal. If you like spicy food, I recommend this. This goes great with beans, lentils, stuff like that. Next you have Dalba Provencal. This is another great spice blend that they create. And they also have Carolina pulled pork. This has smoked paprika and salt. Great for those barbecues. They've also added 2 more, kind of a sweet and spicy spice blend, and then also mulling spices. So those are ones they've also added to the mix. One thing that I've noted before is that they are all organic and they are of the highest quality, and they come straight from Oregon from the West Coast, from Mountain Rose Herbs and Spices. You can't get any better quality than this. And we associate this as one of their strengths. The products are the highest quality. You cannot get any better than this. Is the best on the market. So this is one of the strengths of the company. Let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see in the top left, this is what it looks like if you were to get one of the spices. So on the top you have the name of the spice and then a little quote. And then if you were to flip that lid open, you'll see a recipe that you can use with those spices. So not only are they just giving you the spices, they want to offer some insight. Hey, this is how you can use it. On the inside, you have kind of a Zen moment, a quote of happiness, and then on the other side, you have kind of just more packaging details on the bottom. This is what the food looks like in the spices. They come in usually bags, and they also come in tea bags that you can kind of dip in as well into the slow cooker as well. One of the great things about the Zen of Slow Cooking is that they're right here local in North Shore, Chicago. I mean, they are so close that you might even find them in the farmer's market. They have a booth there in the warm summer months, and also they sell in local holiday boutiques in more of the winter times. They also sell in Amides Merchantinos. You've probably seen this. It's kind of a little hole in the wall by Blue Mercury, just here in Lake Forest as well. So those are some of the places that you can look to buy these products. We also feel that this is an opportunity for the business where they can grow. Specifically, since they're just local, they can also sell in more retail stores. They're just now in more of smaller markets, so they do have the potential to grow in bigger markets and also sell at maybe potential restaurants, more of a long-term strategy. Let's take a look at the prices. These are the prices. The price range from $6.50 to about $7.50, cheapest being Indian dal and the country pulled pork, and the most expensive is the Moroccan tangine, but that is because it has the world's most expensive spice, which is saffron. You cannot get any better quality than this. Obviously, with a high quality product, this is obviously one of the weaknesses of the company, compared to other competitors, which are a lot more cheaper, and these are more of a one-time use thing. So that's some things to keep in mind. This is some of their promotional stuff that they use. They use a lot of online stuff: Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube. They also have their online blog where they update recipes every week. So this is how they communicate with the public and their target markets. Another thing that they also do is they are very big in corporate social responsibility. They love giving back to their communities. And every month, they choose a different group they would like to give some of their proceeds back. And obviously, we feel that this is another strength of the company as well. So, what else do we need to know before we get into our advertising campaign? Well, if we take a look at the spice market industry, if you were to put up a graph up there, from 2009 to 10, it grew about roughly 10%. Now that is a very good amount, being that we had the recession hit in 2008. Now, if you were to look at 2015 from 2010, it's expected to go over 44%. Now this is astronomical. This is such a great industry you want to be a part of. Also, the US is 33% market demand, which means they are basically consuming 1/3 of every spice that is sold around the world is coming into the US. It's another great point the Zen of Slow Cooking has with them, is that they are right here with one of the biggest markets for spices. Now you might be asking yourself, why is this so? And it goes to consumer tastes. Consumers' tastes have changed dramatically. If you look at, over the years, immigration, you have more Europeans, you have more Asians, you have more Latin American. They're bringing their culture, so there's more diversity. They want those spices part of America. Also, you have more organic. People don't want processed foods. There's been this health crave over the last few years. We want more healthy foods. We don't want everything processed. And with the result of that, people want to be healthier. So we've seen these three big trends play along, and that's kind of the cause of why this is so. If you're a producer for spices, these are the things you have to kind of watch out for, which are the EPA, the USDA, and the FDA. You just have to abide by their standards. Every business has standards that they have to abide by. Just make sure that they meet their requirements, stuff like that. Also, changes in technology. We've seen that you can obviously have more quality and quantity control of what you're producing, and then also you can test your products to make sure that they abide by government standards, stuff like that. So let's talk about the competition. Who are we up against? So obviously there's a lot of competitors out there in the market, but we wanted to focus on 5 main competitors, and starting with the most local. The first is the fresh market. You've probably seen this downtown. They have amazing cupcakes. I get them all the time. They make and produce their own spices. They have them sold right there. They are of good quality. They're about just a little underpriced from the Zen of Slow Cooking, but they are obviously a competitor. The next is McCormick's. This is your standard spice. You've probably seen this in your local Jewel, Walmart, Target. This is kind of the low of the low price competitor. Next you have Mrs. Dash. This is known for no sodium. Obviously when you have spices, that's one of the problems, is you have a lot of spices containing a lot of sodium, but they kind of focus on that target market of no sodium. And then next you kind of have 2 of the more higher quality competitors, Simply Organic and the Spice Hunter. They're very similar. They're more of the higher quality. These are what we consider kind of the more direct competitors with the Zen of Slow Cooking, offering that more organic product. We also contribute these competitors as one of the main threats of the company, being that these are bigger companies, they have more resources, they have more money, they have more market share. So we have this tiny little Zen of Slow Cooking in Lake Forest, Illinois, competing against these huge companies. So this is something to take consideration when she's moving forward. And with that, we're going to talk about the creative process and what we've done, and I'd like to bring up Abby Fliss, and she's going to talk about the design of what we've created.
Hey guys. Okay, so Scott, Stephanie, and I kind of sat down together, and we decided that the Zen of Slow Cooking needs a big idea. So what we did a lot of thinking. So we kind of sat in a room with a whiteboard and literally just started rattling off different ideas, phrases that were catchy, that we thought that actually stood for the Zen of Slow Cooking. We wanted something that was very versatile. It would use for multiple different purposes. And we wanted something that created a lot of buzz marketing and really create that buzz and like all the traffic and drive of what the Zen of Slow Cooking stands for. So after multiple different phrases and ideas, we settled on one that we felt that really stood for the Zen of Slow Cooking. And I present to you the One Zen Wonder. 1 pot, 1 spice, 1 wonder. Are you guys wondering what this is? Okay. And also, when we created this One Zen Wonder, we wanted to keep in mind what the Zen of Slow Cooking stands for. We believe, as Scott kind of talked on this, is we believe they stand for diversity because of all the multiple different flavors from all over the world they use, as well as all the different recipes that incorporate these different flavors and techniques. They also stand for organic, healthiness. So we wanted to keep these three things in mind and also stick with our One Zen Wonder idea when creating our advertisements. We also looked at our competitors, and I specifically looked at McCormick and Mrs. Dash to see how they advertise their spice blends. You can kind of see McCormick kind of sticks with this whole thing of food cells. They show their different type of blends. They have packaged, they have a bottle, a couple of different blends, and how they're used in different foods. And I really like this idea of using food because I don't know about you guys, but those tacos look pretty good. They also include a coupon. Mrs. Dash does the same exact thing. They use the whole food cells idea, but then really focus in on their salt-free blends, which I think is how they kind of distinguish themselves from McCormick. So when I was creating what Scott's passing out now, I wanted to stick with this theme of food cells. So I created this. This is an ad slick, 8.5 by 11. This will be used for different magazines. And I don't know about you guys, but I just want to cut off a piece of that turkey and just kind of eat it. I mean, I know Thanksgiving's right around the corner. But also, my idea behind this and why I chose this turkey was to make you guys wonder what that spice is that's used to make that turkey look so delicious. So that was kind of our whole wonder component behind this advertisement. And also we included the website so consumers who see this can go on and learn more about the Zen of Slow Cooking and what they do and why they should choose the Zen lifestyle. This is the trifle that we created, and when I created this is more supposed to be an educational piece to really kind of share what the Zen of Slow Cooking is. And when I created this, I just wanted it to be very Zenful, very simple, earthy tones, fluid, just really speak for what the company stands for. So we also included why you should buy organic spice blends, what is part of the Zen lifestyle, and their different blends, and kind of the different flavors that each of their blends really have. And this would be used when they're at the farmer's market or at a holiday boutique as like kind of an informational piece that they can pass to consumers. And then we finally created a newspaper advertisement. And the idea I had behind this is you're sitting a Sunday morning, sipping your coffee and flipping through the Sunday paper, and this would catch your eye. And you'd be like, okay, what is this one pot, one spice, one wonder? What is the Zen of Slow Cooking? So our idea behind this was to really drive consumers to go visit the website or to pick up the phone if they're not able to get a computer to learn more about the Zen of Slow Cooking. So those are kind of all the pieces that we created, and now I'm going to bring up Stephanie, who's going to explain to you how this happens to make the One Zen Wonder.
Hi everyone. So before we start, we're going to we actually have two customers here today. Steve and Melissa, can you stand up? Steve and Melissa are a married couple. They have 2 kids. I'm one of them. And the thing is, Steve is not really into cooking, so we're not going to worry about him as much. And we're going to focus on Melissa as a target market. When we first met with Meg, she told us there was 2 different target markets she was after, but there was a third that she wanted to go after. So the first 2 target markets they have was the family moms and the new moms, but they wanted to start going after the grads. Now, the only thing is, the question that was not answered was which target market is going to give us the most profit for this company. So when we were done brainstorming, we came up that it would be the elder generation. Now this generation would be Steve and Melissa's parents, also known as Grandma and Grandpa. They were retired, and they're between their 60s and 80s. The reason for this is because they're financially sound. They are done spending money on their family. It's just them 2 now, and they have an income coming in every month. The other reason is Grandma knows how to cook. She has already given her lifestyle how she wants to cook, so Meg and Jane don't have to focus on selling the Zen lifestyle. They can focus on selling the products for themselves. Now, for these 4 target markets, how are we going to target to these? Well, first we're going to separate them into 3 different markets. We can start out with the graduates. They're going to be a social market. Since we're always on our iPhones, our tablets, and our laptops, we don't really look at magazines anymore. So we're going to stay with Pinterest, Facebook, YouTube, and just market that way to these online zombies. Now for elders, they are against all the technology. As they know, they don't like our fancy schmancy technology. So they're going to stay with print ads, which would be magazines, newspapers, and also direct mail pieces. For the moms and new moms though, they're a little unique. They both use social media and print. They are looking at those new mom magazines and also those family magazines. But they are on Pinterest and Facebook. So we would do a hybrid of those two. For our social media strategy, we're going to start off with YouTube. To stay with the One Zen Wonder theme, we're going to do Weekend Wonder recipes. These would be posted once a week on every weekend, giving a how-to cook one of the recipes that are on the blog. The reason for this is because people are now going on YouTube to find how to do things. For beginner cooks, they don't want to spend time trying to learn how to cook an onion or chop an onion, so they can just do it this easily and also have a Zen moment doing it this way. YouTube also allows, when a company's logo, to also be more branched out and go national, and this also doesn't cost much money to do. Second, we have Twitter. We would use hashtag OneZenWonder. Hashtags are basically links where you can follow the discussion or also find a company much easier. The company will also do more tweets and more pictures, but they would use Tweeter as a software company that allows you to pre-write tweets. So Meg and Jane can spend one night and just come up with 40 tweets and separate them throughout the month so they don't have to be online 24/7. Tweeter also allows promotional help where it follows people who are in your target market. It will follow them automatically for you and also find other companies for you to follow. So it just keeps the social media going up 24/7. For Facebook, you would do One Zen Wonder pictures and also statuses, but also go to Facebook ads. Facebook ads do cost money, but it does allow you to target that market closer. It can allow you to see what ads they're clicking on, how long they're on something. It just allows you to focus on who is actually your target market. Next, we have Pinterest. Pinterest is basically a blog of just pictures. It has a link behind the picture so it can bring you straight to the blog. So just taking the pictures from the blog and putting it on there will direct more traffic towards the website. And next, we have email subscriptions. Currently, this is what the website looks like, and where it is in red, it says this is where you can follow them and get information. When we were brainstorming, we realized there are over hundreds of emails we get every day in our email box. So there has to be an incentive to actually sign up for another company's email to get every day. So we came up with the 7 Wonder Recipes of the World. This, once you become a subscriber, you will gain 7 recipes from different continents of the world. So you would get one maybe from Brazil, one from America, one from France, just to have different recipes, and these recipes would not be posted anywhere. You can only get them through your email. So let's go on to the Zen of Slow Cooking website. Currently, this is the website. It is very organic, simple, and clean. If you scroll down the website, you can see this is where they post their current recipe that they have, and this is what they're doing right now. They're supporting our veterans. But we wanted to make the website have a little spice to it, and no pun intended for that. We came up with this website. Since we want to stay with the theme food sells, we decided that all the pictures have to give the food justice. So you can see this website is clean, crisp, organic, and also simple as well. If you scroll down the page, this website does allow the users to be interactive. Right over here where you can see the stars, it allows the customers to rate the recipe. So if you're brand new and you want to try something new, you can see, oh, you really like this one recipe. Now, say Melissa only likes the coco van spice. Well, where it says in Asian food right here, the spice can be located. So if she only wants to find those recipes, she can find those easily. Now, what if you're a brand new cook and you don't want to try a very hard recipe? You can do level easy right over there, and it's much easier, or if you're in a rush, you don't have to do the hard level cooking. Now, this is what the website looks like on a desktop. It's just still breathtaking, and the pictures still do pop. Now, this is what the website looks like on a tablet. I think we've all experienced when you're looking on your smartphone, you have to zoom in and out of a website because it's not device responsive. Device responsive is when the website will change to fit on a smaller screen versus a bigger screen. So this website is device responsive. So say Melissa is out Christmas shopping, wink wink, go Christmas shopping, and she decided that she didn't plan anything to make for dinner tonight. So she has to pull out her iPad and find something to cook. So she can go on the Zen of Slow Cooking and find a recipe, and it's much easier with this to find a recipe, how to cook it, how long it's going to take, what the rating is, versus having to zoom in and out of the screen and trying to find what you want. It even helps when you're cooking at home. You don't have to bring your laptop onto your counter. You can just pull out your phone or your iPad, or if you don't have a laptop, you don't have to run back and forth from your computer room or even print it out and not be eco-friendly. So next for our print strategy, in the top left is the print strategy that Abby made. We would put this into Sheridan Road and Forest and Bluff. Our reasons for this are because they are local magazines. Second, for our newspaper, we would put them in North Shore News, Lake Forest Patch, and Lake Forester. Reason again, this is just all local places. And our last one for the trifold, this would be handed out at the farmer's market and at the holiday boutique, but this can also be a direct mail piece if you want to try to reach other customers. So ideas for the long term. We brainstormed a long time about this, and we came up with 3 different things that the company can do to help for the long term. First would be the folded place card. This would be basically taking what's on the trifold about the spices and put them in a more of a pocket size card, which can fit in a purse, a pocket, and just have more information about the spice. It's basically just a promotional piece for the spices. Second, we have a marketing banner. When we were at the farmer's market, we realized that there was no banner for the Zen of Slow Cooking. All the other companies did. So having a banner to show who you are, where you are, will help promote business during the farmer's market. And third would be a packaging layout. As Scott showed earlier, when there's a recipe inside of the packaging, but to have it on the outside would help the consumer buying it if they want to go shopping right then and there, versus having to open it and do it that way. So now I will bring Scott back up here.
Thanks, Stephanie. So we would just like to kind of summarize what we just talked about, kind of what we did in our process, going back to the big idea, and that was first thinking outside the box. We're going up against some heavy competition, so we need to basically take our ammo and see what we could do to produce something that was very creative and that stuck out. So that was our first reason. The second, we wanted something to be used not only in just 1 month, it can be used anywhere, and it had a good name to it that you can basically attach anything to it. It was very versatile. And then last but not least, we wanted something that would create some kind of buzz marketing campaign. We wanted consumers to connect to the brand, not just you buy a product, but also to relate to it, to have a connection, a relationship with the Zen of Slow Cooking. And with that further ado, that is the one of Zen Wonder, one pot, one spice, one wonder. Thank you very so much. And now begin taking questions if you have any questions for us. Questions? All right.
I'll give you
did it.
So, great concept on the Ones in Wonder. I think it rings, it's true to the brand. It manifests itself in the collateral and media that you suggested, and I think that's all great. So, the question now is, how do you activate consumers to interact with those pieces and eventually get to purchase the product? So, what is it that increases the number of phone calls, or how do you get those media activated to a place where people actually want to call?
Yeah,
I can see it on the print, right?
Sure.
But in the social, you've only got the people you've got. How do you get more?
Yeah, and and that was one of the issues. Obviously, it's a very valid reason to consider. Obviously, one of the problems is that they're very local and they don't have many followers. So yes, it is. And that was kind of the more of where the Facebook ads and kind of more, yes, you might have to pay for it, but it might be worth it. But also, we wanted to basically have more consumer interaction. And because it's more of a buzz, you're more connected, they're basically, a lot of moms live together, and so they always like to mingle, hey, I like this, I like that. So obviously when they find something, they're more willing to share something if they're more connected to the brand. So by allowing the consumers to become more connected with the business, that was our intention, to allow more people to purchase the product. So
I think we're really kind of hoping for a lot of kind of word of mouth kind of travel because of this whole kind of, when I hear ones and wonder, that kind of hits with me like one hit wonders. So that kind of, we're hoping maybe that sticks in their head and they're kind of willing to go, what Scott kind of said, is go tell them other moms, share their stories, their experiences, and then by word of mouth it'll travel as well.
Is there any opportunity for tasting the products? Farmers markets on the days, smelling and tasting?
yeah, they actually,
They brought their stuff
yeah, they
here.
brought them up here, so if you want to come taste that later.
The photos, everything looks so good, it sounds
Yeah.
so great, I'd love to smell it and taste it.
It is very good. Yeah, we don't have any for here today, sorry. Yeah.
Well, I'd like to compliment you on the wonderful presentation.
Thank you very much.
And the PowerPoint was really wonderful. And I had the same thought too, when you taste something, then you know if you like it. And I wondered if you had thought about putting little samples together that people could take home and expanding into other farmers markets. And I was thinking about, like when I go to Trader Joe's, they always have a taste test area. And if you could get into places like that where you could try the foods and say, and then people say, well, I like that, and I'll buy that.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what they already do at the farmers market. One of the cool things about slow cooker is you can actually make bread, and I didn't know this when I started. The bread that they make is absolutely amazing. But they do have samples, and hey, that's really good. So yes, that is one way they actually do. So good.
I also want to congratulate you. You have done a wonderful job.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Very creative.
Thank you.
I have a question for you. I know you have identified the markets, the target markets, like moms, new moms. How about, have you thought of identifying, or perhaps you have tried to identify by taste and needs? For example, like, I have 3 kids, 3 preteens, and if I see, the brochures or some information about the Zen of Slow Cooking, that would be interesting if you can tell me that it will, the nutrition, how it will be like nutritious breakfast,
Sure.
or meals, easy meals that are nutritious for my kids. Lots of grains. I know this is organic, but if we identify somebody can be vegetarian, all the needs of the vitamins, proteins, a little balance of them.
Yeah, sure. No, I totally understand, and that's something maybe we didn't consider full well. But definitely that is a good step that we could have done as well. Obviously, these are the highest quality, as you said. But I mean, obviously, these are the spices that you can basically use for any recipe that you want. They're very versatile. You can use them for any slow cooking recipe that you would want to use it for. So
I know, kind of also with the spice blends, there's multiple different recipes to go with each spice blend, and there's vegetarian options on the website. There's gluten-free options. There's different from chicken. There's pork. There's so I think kind of part of the hope was to go to the website and then be able to explore with the different spices and really kind of choose ones that fit for your kids or whatever dietary restrictions you have. And I think maybe that's a good point to really kind of communicate that better.
Justin.
Yeah, kudos on the marketing strategy. I think it's great. But with any marketing campaign, I mean, there's always the outlying question: how do you calculate the ROI? I feel like with all these different marketing strategies.
There's my finance guy head in class.
Yeah, especially with the online ones.
Yeah.
I mean, especially print too. How do you figure out, what your return on investment is?
Yeah.
Granted, you can do surveys and all that, but there's always going to be that, outlying question. how much money am I making?
I think the key factors you have to look at would be, if they were to implement this new website, would be to look at the traffic, and then obviously one thing that we didn't talk about, they will be implementing online, so you would see those online sales, and then obviously, I mean, you can basically take a base year or whatever, which was probably last year, see how many sales, and then implementing this strategy, you can basically see your return on investment, see the difference in that way. So,
just a follow-up. The strategy, as suggested, essentially relies on continuing the local organic growth in word of mouth, local buyers, calling, visiting websites. So, did you consider a discount or not consider other distribution channels for product growth? So, for example, just seeding recipes in Good Housekeeping blogs, or having more product on the shelf at wherever the store, or recipe of the day in all of the local restaurants. Zen Wednesdays. Did you look at distribution?
yeah, that was one of the big issues that we kind of dealt with as well. Part of the distribution channel. So, what a distribution channel, if you don't know what that is basically from where the product's made to how it gets to the consumer. And so, part of the reason that was very difficult was because they would basically be shipped from Oregon and then assembled in Meg's house, and then she would basically distribute and then take that. She didn't really have product on shelves. It was more of them bringing it to location. And that was kind of one of the opportunities we kind of saw, and that's kind of what they're getting into now, is more trying to get those on the shelves of companies. So that is kind of one of the bigger problems that the company is dealing with right now. But currently, they're just more of kind of bringing it to location once they've assembled it. So, yes.
Or other little point, next to these Zen blends, I would be interested to know if something was particularly spicy versus mild, because I don't like really spicy foods, and I like something that has nice flavoring, but something that's not really, really spicy.
Sure.
And so next to each blend, if there was some little symbol that would tell me this is going to be pretty spicy, or this is going to really complement an American dish, that would help me to decide which one to purchase.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I totally agree with you, and can totally understand, being that Americans very like bland food. I think that's kind of where we kind of thought where the website would kind of first lead into it. Obviously, that's something they can consider putting on the packaging as well. But definitely, if you want to just take a first step, the website would kind of lead to that in that direction. So.
Have you considered grouping the different kinds of spices to make gift baskets, or spice of the month, or something like that, so that you get a little better?
They actually do, they actually do kind of group them, and I think kind of going to their holiday market where they're heading now, they kind of have like different package, like a month of Zen, or where you get 3 or 4 different spice blends, so you really kind of get like a month, because I know one of Jane's kind of goals was to really have consumers incorporate at least one day of Zen a week into their lives. So I think that kind of goes into their whole like month of Zen package, and like other ones where you can buy 3 or you can buy 2. They kind of have a Zen starter kit where you get a spice, you get a little Zen candle, and you get like a Zen piece of chocolate to kind of really help you connect with that whole Zen lifestyle that Jen wants to like get across to consumers. So I think it's all kind of in the works.
No, I just wanted to say, these guys did such a great job, and also to thank everyone here in the audience for participating. I just think it's been a great experience for all of us, so I just wanted to throw that in there.
Thank you.
Okay. Hopefully everybody's had a chance to grab some of the snacks back there. We want to move forward in the interest of time here and get started. Our next group presentation is going to be with Cloud Business Partner, and I'll let him take it from there.
Hi everyone, welcome. Thank you for coming. We want to thank Professor Jafke for setting up this special partnership with the City of Lake Forest and the college. We're honored and excited to be part of this inaugural class of creating this partnership. I am Samantha Ritzma. I'm a senior at Lake Forest majoring in business and communications. I'm excited for graduation and to get into the public relations, event planning, marketing field.
Hi everyone, I'm Jiang, and as you can probably already tell, I'm from China. I'm an automotive photographer on the side, and I want to get into car dealing business after graduation.
I'm Emily. I'm a senior as well, communication major and business minor. Once I graduate, I would like to enter either the sports marketing or advertising industry. It's also a future goal of mine to open a local coffee shop with my sister. She's sitting back there. She can visit as well. So also thank you all for coming, and we would really like to acknowledge our special guest, Tom Horan. Tom, would you mind staying for a second, please? We give him a quick round of applause. Tom is the founder and managing partner of 80/20 Business Solutions and Cloud Business Builder. He is an entrepreneur and businessman, and we just want to thank you for taking the time to work with us these past few months. It's been a wonderful experience.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to introduce Cloud Business Builder. It's a group of specialists that perform cloud computing services. They use knowledge and experience to combine a unique combination of insight and technologies. We're really focusing on the personal relationships that Cloud Business Builder provides companies in their product offerings. For those of you that are unfamiliar with cloud computing, it's not going to tempt you like the Zen of Slow Cooking will. Bear with us with all the technical terms, and please let us know if you have any questions. So it's a practice of using a network of remote servers. It's a new and upcoming process. It's staying away from personal computers that are likely to crash. It's more virtual, and it's new business. That's where everything is turning towards now.
So Cloud Business Builder's mission statement is to empower business owners and executives with powerful tools, knowledge, and services, allowing them to achieve great success. We serve as positive change agents. We also provide individuals the opportunity to follow their passion and discover a profession they love every day. The business generates substantial income for shareholders and employees. And there are several vision points. To condense them all into one, we are regarded as the best in the U.S. when it comes to being a resource for tools, information, and programs for our strategic partners, and receive recognition for the impact we have in the IT industry. When focusing on company objectives, we like to look at our core purpose, and that is to empower businesses to increase revenues and profits by providing information, coaching, and services. Our big, hairy, audacious goal, we like to state, and that is to become the leading resource in the U.S. for marketing and selling cloud computing services, and to generate over $50 million in sales.
All right, right now I'm trying to introduce you guys the concept of 4 Ps. The 4 Ps stands for product, price, place, and promotion. So you probably want to ask, why do we need to know that? Because our team believes that by understanding the 4 Ps, we have a better understanding of how we could position the company in the market and what are all the products and services the company offers. And right now, I gotta say, the Cloud Business Builder provides multiple packages for helping the business to increase the sales of cloud business units. But right now, Tom is more focusing on one package called Bootcamp. This is a 6-week program that focusing on empower the customers with the essential tools they need to increase their sales in cloud business selling. And our pricing strategies could be regarded as from top to down. By saying that, right now we're focusing more on the top-notch or well-being IT resellers who have relatively more than $50 million annual income from their sales of cloud unit storage. And our place methodologies are relatively focused around the IBM endorsement and IBM's partners, because they're now our major target market customers. And we offer remote training through internet, and we occasionally held webinars, and we also do conference calls to provide information and related training to those prospective customers. And our promotional strategies heavily relied on word of mouth and referral programs. By doing that, we also provide webinars, email campaigns, and we're trying to increase our frequency of showing up in related speaker events, and we're trying to create more events to do marketing.
Okay, so in addition to evaluating the 4 Ps of marketing, we conducted research over a variety of fields to better understand the industry that we were going to be marketing to and Cloud Business Builder as a whole. The first one that we used was the PEST analysis. For those of you that don't know, this stands for political, economical, social, and technological environments. These are all macro environments that are going to affect the company and how we are going to operate and try to build our business and direction that we're going to take for marketing and the different challenges that we may be facing in the future. Beginning with the political environment, Cloud Business Builder is going to benefit from a lot of these current situations. Increased governmental regulation is something that's been more and more prevalent. The different standards that are being set out are a little bit tighter, a little bit harsher. It provides a need for secure database backing up, storage, increased utilization of email for small businesses is also something that we talked about a lot in our presentation. Just because, excuse me, small businesses is something that, they use email a lot and they need things to be secure, and the cloud can provide that kind of service for them. The economical environment, this is also in favor of Cloud Business Builder because companies are seeing a lot of cost-saving techniques. They're seeing improvement of their IT departments. They're seeing the benefits that are kind of coming from this new service that's entering the market now. Increased storage efficiency is another thing, so people aren't being wasteful. It's eliminating excess spending on this kind of service. And then additionally, the changing job market. So this is something that's kind of interesting. It's eliminating the middle knowledge kind of employers. So they're going to be forced into, stepping lower, and that will, they'll be fixing this kinds of things, or they're going to be forced to increase their knowledge, increase their education, where they're developing these softwares in these different kinds of systems.
So today's social environment is very innovative, it's encouraging change agents, and younger generations are trusting and relying on technology tremendously. Technologically, there's a sharing of resources, bettering of security, bettering of internet. It's very current and functional. So cloud computing has the ability to thrive.
So now, after all these benefits that you could get from this business, you probably think, oh, okay, this is a really relatively new market and it's such a great thing to do. It might not be as competitive as other businesses, but actually you guys are around. I mean, if you thought like I did. Because right now, as you can see, we have 3 major competitors, and I want to jump to the third one right away because this is the regular competitors that you would think, because service leaderships means companies or individuals like Tom here offering the similar consulting services to all these IT distributors, and it's easy to know, or understand they are the competitors. However, the first one, the second one, are also competitors because, for example, the cloud providers are companies like Google, Yahoo, and Microsoft, which offers the physical facility of your valuable information storage units, and distributors like Ingram Micro here and Avnet, which they are the certified IT resellers for Google and Microsoft. But usually they are our partners, right? Because they need our help. However, when cloud providers decide to hire internally, to hire their own IT guys to replace Tom, then they will be a threat to our business. And for the distributors, if they don't realize how important the consulting services could be to increase their sales, then they are also threatening to our business.
Okay, let's talk about the industry as a whole. This is cumulative So acceptance is growing rapidly for cloud computing services. People are beginning to see the benefits again that we've outlined. 50% of the US government has already switched over to the cloud, and Forrester Research expects the industry to reach $241 billion in the year 2020. So for the industry and cloud builder business itself, this allows for a large opportunity of growth and gaining new customers, tapping into this market. In just the past year, it's grown by nearly half. So the industry is really bright. People are moving over to this new innovation, and they're excited about what this is going to offer them through the new storage and databasing. These are just some of the benefits that cloud computing has for the industry for different consumers. Savings, efficiency, accessibility, these are all things that we've talked about. There are opportunities, there are strengths when we're talking about Cloud Business Builder.
So we conducted a SWOT analysis, and for those who are unfamiliar with the term, the SWOT analysis is a structured planning method. It's used to evaluate the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats involved in a business venture. It identifies both internal and external factors that may be favorable or unfavorable to achieving the objective. Our strengths currently, we take pride in our professional integrity, and we believe that that gives us a competitive advantage. We have worked with, Tom has worked with IBM for 13 years, and that builds his credibility tremendously. And we have a previous business building success. Weaknesses, this is a self-funded and single employee operation, and that can be limiting. Also, the cloud computing industry is a new industry, so that makes for low awareness for our brand.
On the outside, these are some external factors of the SWOT analysis. Some opportunities that we see. The interest of resellers in cloud selling is increasing. They need our help. They need cloud business builders' help because they haven't, let that be something that their own IT departments are taking care of yet. Additionally, the computer and cloud services being sold as separate entities. Cloud services, just because you have the computers in the different software programs doesn't mean that you're able to, conduct the services that a cloud can when it comes to backing up your information, storage, and different kind of services that Cloud Business Builder has. They are separate things, so you need to kind of have both hand in hand if you're going to successfully and effectively run your business. And then finally, we think this opportunity is pretty unique when it comes to offering a product or service because cloud computing is something that you can't touch and you can't feel, you can't see. So it must be proved, and we think that we've got a lot of success stories that we can prove that we are going to provide results that are beneficial for your company. This is just a graph that we found. On the bottom there is the cloud lagger. So this is 50% of businesses that haven't transformed to the cloud. This is another indicator that there's a large market out there for a cloud business builder to tap into. Again, even when you get to the top of the cloud transformed with about 15%, they still need help once in a while and expertise to solve those difficult problems. Threats externally for Cloud Business Builder kind of go back to our competitors, and there's two different kind of categories we have for this. So IBM tasking internally is something that will serve as a concern because if they allow that to be conducted by their own IT department, they won't need Tom, they won't need him and his expertise. They'll kind of self-educate and then self-run their own cloud services. Then that also goes into the seizing of outsourcing, which is again resellers coming to Tom for the knowledge on how to conduct cloud computing so that they can go then run their businesses. And then another threat that we really hope doesn't happen for the industry as a whole, it would be very detrimental, is cloud computing failing. If the servers go down, there's a lot of grief. It's something that is upcoming and new. It's supposed to be the freshest, the most innovative technology, and we kind of, put it on a pedestal then where we don't think that it has the chance to fail, that it should be perfect, and it should be running for us smoothly all the time.
So this is where the important part come in. Who are we selling to? The first four are really straightforward, like the IBM Power System resellers, independent software providers, strategic partners like IBM, and cloud providers, they're all really clear that it will be the target that we are targeting as our customers. However, I want to bring your attention to the last one, which are the innovators. Why are we targeting them? Our team believes that innovators are really valuable for our business because innovators are really, upfront and trying to try out the new things. And once they got good feedback, you'll get get good words out there and to do the promotion process for us. So that's why we want to involve innovators as one of the really important elements in our target market.
Okay, so now that all of our analysis are done, we want to get into our marketing strategy. Zhang and Emily are going to pass out the materials that we've created. We wanted to communicate a number of take-home messages throughout these different mediums and channels of distribution. Encouraging conversation with Tom is something that we think is going to be really beneficial. If we can get people's attention, get them interested in cloud computing and asking what it is, Tom's been great with the personal conversations with those businesses and individuals to further educate them and further tell them about what this is going to do for their company. We also wanted to identify some key benefits of Cloud Business Builder. As we've outlined before, there's a lot to come from it, but it's, again, something that is up and coming and not everyone has knowledge of. Also, we think that statistics and credibility are going to really help our business in this regards because people want evidence that we are successful and that we know what we're doing. Everyone getting them? So let's talk about the overall strategy. For our marketing materials, we think that highlighting a warm and inviting kind of tone is going to be something that sets us apart from competitors. When you think of computers and you think of technology, it's often pretty formal, it's very informative, it's to the point, it's not real personal, and we think that that's what's going to set Cloud Business Builder apart, is that Tom is a small business and he does have those personal relationships because he is the one that is working closely through these boot camps and different services. We also want to exude our confidence in our knowledge in our work. This is going to come through the guarantees that we offer for having positive business results. And finally, just talking about the benefits of the service once again. So the communication objectives of these pieces that we're hoping all of our audiences are going to take home from them is seeing the key benefits, seeing the statistics, the facts and the figures, and then wanting to learn more about cloud business and cloud computing. Let's just wait one moment for Jean to finish passing those out so he can talk to us about why this is our strategy.
All right, so the whole rationale here is we're trying to stand out from our competitors, which are offering similar services like Tom does. We're trying to create this more personal connections with our prospective clients. And we're trying to remind them that we're friends, we're not just a business, but we're there to customize all the package for you to make your business successful. And of course, we have to increase the customers' awareness of this whole great cloud business computing industry because right now it's still a lack of existence in the internet and public. So.
Okay, when identifying the brand, we are knowledgeable, and that is a result of Tom, due to his past operating of businesses very successfully and his connection with IBM. We take part in assisted learning. The transformation to cloud computing can be very intimidating for some businesses, but Cloud Business Builder is there with you along the way. They're there to help you make the adjustment. If you have questions, we're there to work with you. We also have an opportunity for enhanced services. And where we're taking it, we want to increase exposure to the potential market. We want to secure a partnership with IBM and position ourselves as a relationship-based service. Just getting people to listen, that's the hard part, but once we're able to have contact with the companies, it's a lot easier to get our vision across to them, and we believe that following these 3 steps will help us get there.
So we've developed 3 different pieces of marketing material for Cloud Business Builder that hopefully is going to follow all of these objectives that we laid out. First of all, we have an ad slate, we have a trifold mail piece, and then we also have a postcard direct mail piece. If you want to take a look at the ad slick, we will talk about that and how we got to this and why we think that this is going to be effective for Cloud Business Builder. First of all, this is very simple. There's not a lot going on the page. We think that this is different than most computer and technological companies as they kind of bombard you with information. We don't want to be overwhelming to our customers. We think that this is going to invite you to learn more, including the website address down at the bottom is somewhere that they can continue their knowledge, learn, find out more about cloud computing and Cloud Business Builder as a whole. We obviously had to include our logo down there, sort of establishing our brand and establishing a common message that we wanted to portray. Also notice the different social media icons at the bottom. We think that this is important. Markets and people in general are moving towards these different platforms to learn about businesses and follow them and see what their knowledge is, and kind of it's another supplementary tool to a website or to a brochure, and we think that this is something that can be enhanced and be utilized as we're trying to work towards the modern and the innovative customers as a whole. To talk about a little bit about the slogan and then the graphic. This is a little bit different than most cloud businesses, kind of, the different ways that they go at promoting their own business. We think that the cartoon-like font and graphic is going to be kind of portray our inviting and warm tone that we wanted to include in our marketing pieces. Propelling your business to new heights is something that includes the cloud talk. A lot of different businesses and competition use the blue schemes, use clouds as a motto for their own business, but kind of taking it to a new level and incorporating something a little bit different that is also relevant to the cloud and relevant to the sky, we thought was going to differentiate ourselves and hopefully stick out in our customers' minds.
So I hope you guys like that because I designed it. So where do you think is the most appropriate place to distribute that as Slack? We believe that it's most appropriate if we put it into industry-related magazines, trade journals, and even like on one of the IBM newsletters, because usually the IBM newsletters look plain and boring. So we're trying to present our presence there and add some creative elements to them too.
Next is our trifold. If you want to look at this, our thought process with the trifold. First, we think it's going to be really versatile for Cloud Business Builder, used in a variety of different channel distributions. As you open up the front flap, you're going to just learn kind of broad about what cloud computing is, how it's the future of business, and we think that this, the format that this piece is set up is going to walk you through from a broad knowledge down to the more detailed and intricate information about what services are being offered. There on the left flap of the inside, you're going to meet our founder and our business owner, Tom, learn about his credibility. We think that this is really important as we kind of gain the trust and the understanding of our consumers that we do know what we're doing and that they can come to us and we have experience, we have success, and we're willing to prove that to them. Then here on the inside, we've included this new graphic that really stood out for us three as a team as we were working on these marketing pieces, because through the Cloud Business Builder Bootcamp, it's a series of stages, and you're building on each week, you're learning something new and you're implementing something new. And the small plant kind of exemplifies that as, it's a seed and it begins and it's growing each time, and you're developing as a business, you're increasing your sales, you're increasing your profits, and you're building those customer relationships until it can foster and grow on its own. Down in the text, we've just kind of outlined briefly what the services are, the different offerings that Cloud Business Builder has, and then some more detailed information about what this bootcamp is, what you might be getting yourself into, and why it's a good idea. Back to the front. The back page then has all of our contact information, again, as a way to invite conversation and encourage you to reach out to Cloud Business Builder and learn a little bit more about it if this does strike your interest. And then the text on that is a little bit more detailed about what our services are and the different variations that you can receive this service and receive this knowledge through. For the people that do vary, the company sizes, if you're an individual, if you have different time restraints, you know, you can do it as a group, you can do it as an individual, and you can do it as your own pace. So we kind of want to show our flexibility there while also getting into more of the meat of Cloud Business Builder and you know, following that whole procession of from cloud computing all the way to time to take an action plan and implement this into your own business by going through Cloud Business Builder.
So how we mail them? It is a direct mail piece, right? So we mail them. And every business has their own trifolders, right? But we said we're trying to be innovative. So we invented 2 other different ways of distributing this. There are, we can distribute it through conference instead of mailing them to your mailbox. And we can also distribute them to the IBM contacts, which I believe is really going to be efficient and direct to the point.
Okay, so our final marketing piece that we developed for Cloud Business Builder is a direct mail piece. If you want to take a look at yours, this is something that doesn't have as much information. We kind of, in the front, included the similar graphic, you know, to streamline our communication. We think consistency here was key. We also included the similar taglines as well as similar text and verbiage, just to keep our brand in the line of what you think we are. We don't want to deviate too much from that because you need to trust in Cloud Business Builder and not be strayed from what we stand for. On the back then, we introduced the text with a rhetorical question, which we think is pretty powerful and has been used on the website as well. This is, again, going into streamlining, and it kind of sparks your interest and grabs your attention right away. And we have the contact information again at the top in order to facilitate the desire to learn more about Cloud Business Builder and how we can increase your profits as the words jump right off at the page. We also think that this direct mail piece is going to serve another purpose for us. This objective, we think, we'll start with a cyclical kind of mailing. This would be the first piece that a customer would receive, and we think by incorporating different holiday postcards, different informational postcards, perhaps promotional, different pricings that can come up throughout the year, it's going to kind of increase the loyalty that customers have with Cloud Business Builder, increase the personal relationships, as this was something that we really focused on with our marketing pieces. We think that, again, that's how we're going to differentiate ourselves. So by introducing this first initial piece, we've set up the template for further direct mail pieces to be incorporated and mailed out to clients down the road as those relationships grow.
Yeah, like Sam said, we're gonna mail this out also to you, but we're trying to mail it more openly around the holiday seasons because based on probably all of us experience, we always like to throw out whatever business brochures that we got from the mail. We call them the junk mail. But during the holiday seasons, we're always expecting some really caring relatives mail us some postcards, right? So this actually we're preventing people to throw them away and actually spend some time as looking at them. So that's our whole rationale for the poster cards.
So overall, with our marketing strategy, we hope that you recognize the propelling your business to new heights slogan. This was something that we didn't see with Cloud Business Builder before going into this marketing project. And a slogan we found has been really beneficial for a lot of different companies. It's something kind of a staple, and it reminds you of this company right away. And this also is differentiating Cloud Business Builder from other companies by including that different aspect of the sky in the clouds. Also, streamlining the message for our pieces was really crucial for Cloud Business Builder. This just goes along with the consistency and building a brand that is current and going to be recognizable on all marketing fronts. Also, the different pieces were used very differently, with variation, and that was important for when we decided what was included in each piece, from the trifold being a lot more informative with more text. That's going to a different audience than our direct mail pieces are and our ad slick is. We think things needed to be appropriate for who we were reaching out to throughout those different channels of distribution. And then also just finally talking about sparing information. We don't want to overwhelm our customers. We kind of wanted to invite the customer into encouraging further communication with Tom to learn about Cloud Business Builder and learn how this is going to help your individual business or company.
So now we're going to talk about the media strategy. We want to achieve these 3 goals in general. The first one is greater exposure. We want everybody in the market and the industry to know about us. And we want to stay relevant to the industry instead of like distributing our advertisement all over the place to save time and resources. And last but not the least, we're trying to be creative and interactive with our advertisement to present our innovative elements in the whole company ideology.
Okay, looking at other IMC components, we will enhance our traditional marketing strategies by further integrating modern and interactive marketing components. So we really, with our conference materials, we really want to focus on the less is more concept. I don't know about you, but often if you go to any networking events, conferences, seminars, you come out with just handfuls of brochures and promotional items that just get tossed under the rug when you get home, they're lost, whatever. So we would like to hand out a single USB drive that would present our logo on it, and you plug it into your computer, and it will display information about cloud computing itself, as well as the Cloud Business Builder. We also would consider partnering with whoever provided the USB drive, such as Motorola, and that would be an amazing opportunity to promote our brand as well. Lastly, we would hand out the trifolds that were introduced earlier by Sam and Sean. Trade shows are another place where we believe would be an excellent spot to promote Cloud Business Builder, often explaining the cloud. I'm sure as you all have noticed, it's a hard concept to grasp. So that at trade shows, most people attending those they're familiar with the concept, so we can really focus more on attracting customers and securing them. One of these trade shows is the Pulse, the IBM Pulse, and it's an ideal venue to explore the latest development of cloud. We really think it would be a great speaking opportunity. 2 others would be the Cloud Connect, which is in Chicago, and the Chicago Cloud Expo, so those are more local and would be more affordable to get to. Webinar promotion, we would like to increase the frequency of our webinars and further establish a YouTube channel where each webinar could be uploaded to, and that would allow any consumers or potential customers to go to and click on old or past webinars that have already been presented. Lastly, FormStack. Do you want to explain FormStack a little?
So FormStack is a reservation system, and it tracks the emails that are opened. You can put out events, you can send reminders. This is something that's just going to streamline and hopefully reduce the time that Tom spends on promoting these webinars and getting the word out about them, and hopefully attracting different target markets to attend the webinars and learn about his business.
We really would focus on our social media campaign, Twitter pages, Facebook pages, LinkedIn, and a Google Plus page. And seeing as Tom is operating the business himself, it's definitely difficult to keep up with each, constantly posting, staying active amongst all these pages. So what we'd recommend is an app called Hootsuite, and that application allows you to make pre-arranged posts and send them out whenever, in a timely manner. You can also make a post and send it out across multiple media channels. So that would save a lot of time and just be a lot more convenient. We would emphasize the importance of staying active. social media it really offers a chance to attract a larger audience, really encourage conversation regarding cloud computing as a whole. So it's important to stay active, and we also would convert our account names to Cloud Business Builder to really get the brand out there. Email blasts. Email blasts are something that Tom is currently using, and they're working. The one thing we would recommend is possibly including more graphics within the email sent out. It would just allow for a more appealing and interested reader, and maybe give them a better incentive to contact Tom. Secondly, MailChimp. Sam also knows this pretty well.
This is another tool for small businesses. It's used in email distribution. You can create a variety of templates and save those templates then. So this is also going to reduce the time spent on getting out these email blasts. You can schedule out when they're going to be sent. You can schedule, again, reminders. It's something that with a single man operation is going to be able to spend his time more effectively working in trying to generate revenue through clientele relationships and providing those services versus business development.
And lastly, we would like to solidify a partnership between Cloud Business Builder and IBM. We would see if we could present our logo on the IBM website or within press releases, and we would include them in ours. So we just think that would be a great opportunity.
So with all of these marketing strategies for social networking, different media plans, we have developed a Gantt chart which is going to span 12 months for Tom and hopefully lay out in a timely manner how he can distribute these different materials and ideas. A Gantt chart is going to be effective because bombarding people and different customers all at once, it's not going to stimulate them. A more consistent, over time, messaging is going to be easier for Tom to manage and easier for different customers to, build awareness and also build confidence in Cloud Business Builder. With the marketing strategies, we hope that Cloud Business Builder is going to be, easily recognizable on all marketing fronts through the streamlined tagline, through the similar graphics. We think having this consistent image is going to be a lot more beneficial than some different competitors can do because we are keeping things consistent and keeping all of our information true to what our brand is standing for. However, the variation through each medium is crucial. As we talked about with the postcard, with the trifold, and with the ad slate, we wanted to differentiate how much information that we are releasing to each of those audiences based on what their time commitment is in reading those and viewing them. Finally, we think that these marketing materials are going to encourage further conversations, which was one of our main objectives to begin with, because as we said, Tom is really good at kind of closing the deal and being personable and talking to them and providing that relationship that many other cloud computing services do not have, especially with the larger firms. So hopefully Cloud Business Builder is going to introduce a welcoming brand that is also formal and exudes a greater knowledge and understanding of cloud computing than competitors of Business Builder. Any questions?
Tom, I would agree. Just to clarify, the service is a business building educational service to resellers.
Correct.
Cloud services primarily for IBM.
That is correct.
Yeah, okay. So, great job by the team of distilling what is a complicated and changing technology into a coherent marketing plan. I think you grasped the essence of it really cleanly. I think that you're right in doing the color scheme that you picked. I don't know if it's Tom's color or not. Blue is a confidence builder, for people who trust. And you had great calls to action in the printed material, right? Sign up now, start building profits, call us for, those are great calls to action for these people. I probably encourage you to use a little bit more QR codes in these printed materials, your ad slip in particular. Use your technology people to go to the testimonials really quickly. Video testimonials of people who's helped would be great in this particular industry. And So I wonder if the team gave any consideration to how far ahead of Tom's capability to deliver the marketing campaigns to generate demand. So maybe you guys can respond to that.
Well, can you clarify the question?
Sure.
Okay.
If you're successful with your marketing program as described, Tom will have $25 million in orders tomorrow.
Hopefully.
Okay, so how does Tom fill those orders when he's a solo practitioner?
Okay. Well, that was something that we had discussed when we were putting everything together. That would eventually be the result of all of this. Tom wants to have more people come on, and as he brings in that revenue, he would be able to hire them. Currently, it's not something that's possible. So as those orders come in, he has the guarantee of profits and the funds to then hire somebody else. And I think that would be something that he would really appreciate, is having other customers. It's just needing and having that security and safety net of these incoming orders, I guess. Needs to be established before he can.
Yeah, you might want to give some consideration for Tom to use the potential hires that he might make as educators and trainers and the rest as guerrilla marketing labor now, right? Enabling those people who might come on board with his marketing materials for them to send their contacts to, right? Sort of in a guerrilla way, preceding the demand.
I really like this. I don't know. I love the simplicity about it. It really, I grabbed and it really grabbed me. But I was curious about how the next statement, and I'm looking out now, like, grow your business quickly, make a large profit. Can you elaborate on where that falls into this?
That's something that had been used previously in Tom's website, and we kind of wanted to incorporate it back into this postcard because when they do hopefully visit the website, they're going to see the streamlined message. And this is kind of part of his mission when he is going to provide these services. That's what the goal is for them and for his businesses and clients to increase their revenues.
I'm ready.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, again, 5 minutes and we'll be back for our final presentation. Okay, so our final presenters tonight are going to be talking to us about KidsSmarter. Take it away, please.
All right, before we get started, does everyone have in their hands an ad slip and the pamphlet template? All right, great. So my name is Rhiannon. I'm a senior and I'm studying communication and business.
I'm Lasha. I'm a senior and majoring in business. I'm Nick. I'm a senior and I'm majoring in business as well.
Great. So by show of hands, how many of you have purchased an app from the App Store? Great. We all know what an app is. So KidsSmarter. KidsSmarter is all about designing apps that make learning fun. So everything from teaching kids how to add, subtract, even how to count from 1 to 100 in 6 different languages. This is KidsSmarter. So KidsSmarter was founded with the mission of making learning fun. And also has the vision of enhancing the experience with the iPad, engaging with the iPad, but also developing critical math skills and challenging kids to further these math skills. So right now, the app is priced pretty competitively on the App Store at $1, like most apps there. It's also being promoted through the internet, and a lot of what Alejandra does is she wants to promote this app into schools that are using iPads. So she goes out to the community and meets these people face to face. So a lot of what she does is word of mouth to get this app out.
All right, getting into the situation analysis and the past more specifically. Some legal things Alejandra needs to be worried about is conforming to Apple's marketing guidelines when marketing on the App Store. she also needs to be aware of the economic environment, how if as consumers' disposable income grows, they'll be more likely to buy iPhones, iPads, and thus be able to purchase these apps. And in fact, iPhone 5 sales, there's record 9 million sold in the first and opening weekend. So consumers are still buying more iPhones. But even as they buy more iPhones and iPads, they're still looking for a free version of apps. 80% of apps were free in 2011, and in 2013, 90% of apps are now free. And also, schools are now opening up to using iPads rather than textbooks. 600 school districts across the U.S. use iPads in some capacity this year, so that's a big market for us to tap into. These apps should be able to eventually be used across different mediums, not just on the iPhone, but on Android, on e-readers, such as the Note and the Kindle. They can all support apps and support these apps as well. And many app games are also played on social media sites, such as Facebook. I know like Words with Friends, Candy Crush, those can be played on Facebook as well. And being able to link these apps to social media would be a huge plus for us. These are some of the competitors. Keyword being song. This market is highly saturated with apps, as I'm sure all of you can tell. And kids aren't just looking for, the competitors aren't just educational apps, they are just any type of apps as well. I know kids are more inclined to play Angry Birds or a game rather than try out an educational app. But once they get to playing these apps, they should realize that they're a lot of fun and they provide a good benefit as well.
Talk about industry and what is happening there and what's going to happen. It's really interesting and it's really big because the industry is called economy, so this is a new economy era, I guess. And yeah, it was really hard to get in the industry for small companies and individuals before. And however, now there are new systems that give abilities to individuals and small businesses to learn about creating apps and create them, so they don't have to spend more money and resources on it. Yeah, global revenue of the industry is expected to grow by 62% and it's going to be 25 billion. So all these new innovations and new programs help the industry to grow up and become more successful. However, the competition is going to increase as well because there will be more applications. Nowadays, the Apple Store has about 700,000 applications. I will talk about SWOT analysis in order to know what is the strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats for KidsSmarter. Strong sides of the company's first impression, pricing, diversity, and language options. The application can be used in 3 languages. It's English, Spanish, and French. Also, it's a really good strategy to have all applications separate, independent, so the consumer or the customer does not have to download all the applications. So they have a choice, and they spend less than purchasing all the applications, so they can buy whatever they need. However, there are some weaknesses that the company faces. For example, the brand is not popular, and it's really hard to create a successful business even if you have a really strong and really good product if your brand is not known by the people. And also, one of the weaknesses I would suggest is that the applications are only for iPads and iPhones, and we would recommend that all applications will be for other devices as well, so the sales is going to increase. The company has a big potential to become successful because it's really good and really educational for kids. But however, because the competition is increasing and kids prefer to play games, not study, there are some difficulties that the company is going to face. Target market. Yeah, target market and having a really strong choice of target market and be very specific, it's really important. A lot of people might think that because it's for kids, the applications are for kids. The target market of the company are the kids. But I don't think so, because I cannot imagine a 6-year-old kid going to App Store and buying applications. So there should be someone, a teacher or parents or schools or school organizations who provide these applications to them. However, the applications, KidsSmarter applications, will be used for kids from 6 to 13, and because of the language options, those people will be able to speak or know English, Spanish, or French.
When we first looked at the company, I mean, we knew what the company was about, what the apps offered, and who our target market was. So we sat down and wanted to think about where we should go from here. So there's 3 main things we wanted to do. We wanted to connect with the local community to build a strong following. Because these are apps and there's not a store you can physically go into to buy this product, we wanted to be able to build a tangible consumer base that we can talk to, get feedback on, and connect with. We want to build ties to the national and international audience through online marketing, so it's a more cost-effective way of reaching these consumers. And we want to provide an opportunity for schools using iPads to know about the KidsSmarter apps and how they can benefit their students. The brand is all about making learning fun again, as stated in the slogan, fun learning, smarter kids. So everything that we do needs to portray excitement, fun, and learning. One other thing is that KidsSmarter wants to promote ethical use of technology. This is a key thing we can differentiate from competitors. There won't be any, if you use these apps, there won't be any in-app advertisements, so your kids won't be seeing pop-ups of different games and things that they can buy. And we also won't be tracking using mobile analytics to track when you're using the app, how often you're using it. So there's privacy concerns, and we feel that we can differentiate ourselves from competitors.
Okay, so I just want to take a brief moment to introduce you to Alejandra. This is going to happen at the beginning, so I apologize, but this is Alejandra, who we've been partnered with, and she's fabulous. Going back to the presentation. So Alejandra has done a great job of creating some of her own promotional pieces. And what we wanted to do here is give her some more options as she creates different advertising campaigns and actually goes to differentiate herself in those different target markets. So the first is the 8.5 by 11 ad split. So this basically gets to the basics. What it is, where you can find it, and how you can learn more. There's the website, if you want to check that out later this evening. The next piece we did is a trifold. So this is the front, and yes, it gets to those basics again about where you can find it, how you can learn more, etc. But then it gets into a little bit more detail. There's 6 different apps. You can learn more about that and more about the company. So this is a piece that you can hand out at an event if you're meeting someone in person, which is going to a conference. But it's also a direct mail piece. Going back to the other one, you can see in the center there, put a little stamp there and send that to all of your supporters and the local community. Going to the next piece, a banner ad. So if you were on a website, this would be displayed in the margins. And thinking about different campaigns, this would potentially be for the summer. It says, don't let your kids blow the summer away. So it's getting back to the idea of, let's focus on getting them staying on track, practicing their math, and what better way to do that.
When we first set down with Alejandra, one of her big goals was she wanted to eventually get to 8,000 downloads a month. In order to do this, we really need to get awareness out about the product. So our objectives were to increase awareness across the board, locally, nationally, and internationally. And we also, like I said before, we went up through our local market so we can have a tangible consumer base, someone that we can see face to face and talk to. And just remember that just a few downloads daily can keep you at the top of the charts for your app category. From our objectives, we could develop our strategy, which was to utilize mass media vehicles, more specifically to target the local consumers, things like newspaper ads, magazines, things of that nature would be good for this. We want to use online advertisements and tools to target consumers around the world. It's cheaper to do it this way, and it's easier to connect with these consumers and build relationships with them. We want to take advantage of review sites as well. I know one of the first things I did when I was looking to find out the competitors for KidsSmarter, I typed in top educational labs. And I know when people are looking for educational labs for their kids, they'll type in Google something similar. And we want to pop up and be on the top of those rankings, top of those sites. It brings credibility to the company, and it's a good way of getting awareness out about the company. One of the things I stumbled upon was advertising on podcasts. If you don't know what podcasts are, it's like a radio show that any one of you could host. They're based on all different kinds of categories, anything you could think of, sports, education, health, anything people will talk about. But I like to think of this like the Oprah effect. When Oprah would advertise a product or endorse a product, sales of that product would go through the roof because, oh my God, Oprah uses this, I have to, and people have that connection with her. It's maybe not to the same extent, but it's like that with these podcasts. Some of these podcasts have 300, 400 episodes, and to get there, you have to have a strong fanatic following. So if these hosts are supporting KidsSmarter, then we know that their consumers will jump all over it. And distribution, like I said, newspapers, magazines, local TV stations. Chicago, Tribune, the Lake Forest, there would be good places for that ad slip we saw earlier. A place where you could put more information about the company. Blog spots and podcasts, again, I think would be better for, maybe the blog spots would be better for the banner ads where you can click on those ads and it'll bring you to the website. One of the podcasts I actually found, which was also a blog spot, was called Manic Mommy, so it was about is a podcast with two moms for hosts. They talk about the everyday lives of parenting. And they estimated by advertising on their website and on their blog that for $50 a week you could get about 1,700 clicks to your website. And that's just a cheap way of getting attention to our website.
So getting into integrated marketing, and this is the idea that all of your marketing pieces align in some way and support one another. And one way to have a very strong marketing plan is to first have a strong business plan. So I just wanted to highlight, to have a strong business plan, you really need to have all these different components. One of the most important is your financial piece. You want to know how much money you want to raise and how much you need to sell to get there. And then specifically your action plan to determine what specific actions you're going to take to then get to your objectives. So this is just the strong base for if you ever want to go into having further investors, having a sound plan. It looks really great and shows that you know what you're talking about. So then going into this plan. So Alejandra, when she came to us, she said that she was going to schools and talking to them and trying to put in their heads that they should be using these apps in school. So one way, when she's going into the schools, is to come up with a PowerPoint to show visually what it looks like to use the app, what the ideal environment is like, and just also to make it more interactive. And so in each PowerPoint, she can tailor this to her target market. Whether it be she's talking to a group of parents at a PTA meeting, she's going and talking to a school administrator, or she's speaking to a group of kids in the library about the fun of KidsSmarter. She could still be talking about the app, but differentiating it a little bit. And in each one, we suggest answering the 5 W's and the how, because this will get to the point of how each person will use it, why it's important, and specifically just overall how the app can benefit them. So along with the PowerPoint, she should come in hand with other pitch materials. These could be found in the pamphlet we handed out, or she could create something a little more sophisticated, like a small booklet. Something that could feature how she can be contacted, or a bit more literature on the company or the product, but also take it a step further and feature case studies. So let's say she goes to a school here in Lake Forest, and they say, okay, this is great, how do we know it's going to be effective? Well, she can say, look, this other school implemented the app, and this was their success rate. This is what happened, this is how they did it, and look at them now. So showing evidence is a key way of getting people on board. And also featuring her media. She has been in some newspapers, and as her success grows, we are hoping that she'll be in more magazines, featuring more news spots, and by showing that to her potential clients, it shows a better reputation and that this is really getting off the ground. Okay, so the app is already on the web. Why not have a campaign on that same medium? I decided to focus on Facebook, Twitter, and blogging for this because I feel like these are the most robust and most popular spaces that I've noticed, and also when working with other companies to promote themselves in social media. So on Facebook, the main thing here is to intrigue potential clients, but really to remind current clients. Because how Facebook works is that you have your newsfeed. And if you're not interacting with something, that will no longer appear in your newsfeed. So as Alejandra is posting photos of interesting stories and whatnot, her main goal here is to get people to be liking them, clicking on links, and just interacting. Because if people aren't interacting with KidsSmarter on Facebook, it will generally disappear over time. So that's the main target here, is more photos, posting like 5 times a day, and out of those 5 times, maybe one post will be about KidsSmarter, and the rest will be all about interesting things that target markets would like to read. So whether it be focusing on something parents might like an interesting family recipe, or something going on in the school district. So Facebook, you don't always want to focus on your company. You want to focus on everything else, because people don't want to feel like they're being marketed to. They want a little bit of the company, but they also want to see the bigger picture. So then comes Twitter. Now I want to take a little bit of a different approach here, and I want Alejandra to establish herself as the face of the company. Because Twitter is all about conversation. It's about talking to people, right? So I feel like people don't want to talk to a company. Like if you got your phone out and you're tweeting Starbucks, you have no idea who you're talking to. But with Alejandra, she can establish herself as a parent, mother, a teacher, UW grad, so many multifaceted characteristics about her that people can identify with. And then she can also draw attention to her company by having her handle or her name on Twitter be KidsSmarter, and then her profile being about her as a person featuring her name. And if you use Twitter, you can identify with that. So from there, she can use Twitter to start conversations, to engage in current conversations going on, and start building a following that way. So lastly is blogging. So right now, Alejandra does have a blog, and I think it's a great way on her website that the blog features current news, current press releases, anything going on with KidsSmarter. But what I'm talking about is a separate blog, something that really focuses on Alejandra as a person. So she might talk about stories in her day-to-day life as a mother, interacting with her kids, going to the schools, her time as an entrepreneur, all these things that make her a well-balanced person that people in the blogging community can identify with. But then, in the margins of the space, she can have banner ads for KidsSmarter. She can also have another page on her blog that's dedicated to her experience as an entrepreneur in developing this app in this company, KidsSmarter. And this has been seen in other blogs. And here's the thing, if she has a successful blog, there's a huge blogging community that she can tap into. So Blog Her is this huge conference for women that happens every year, where thousands of women gather and network and collaborate and support one another. So if she can tap into that and go to that event, she could not only gain supporters, but she can grow the business of her.
In order to make it better, it's really important to have a really well and professionally organized website. We would recommend to have all of the parental tabs or headings on the homepage and providing contact us or about us, and including email address, phone number, and contact name. So the clients and the visitors, they want to be more familiar with the people who work in the company, and so if they try to call, they can use the name, so they create the relationships. Because it's a creative business, and I think all of the businesses are creative, it would be really nice to have a video on the homepage with the instructions and just general information about the apps. And we would recommend to have a chat on the homepage so the customers can talk about not only the applications but some general topics and create a relationship with the company. Because one of the goals of KidsSmarter is to become global, it's really important to have more language options, and we strongly believe that French and Spanish with English are going to be those languages used for the website because the applications are mostly using these languages. Email blast. So every day I receive a lot of emails, and not even checking it, I just delete most of them because I think it's spam or whatever. But however, it's still a good strategy to have email blasts because it's very efficient. To by one click you can send emails to 100,000 people. So 10,000. Yeah, and all these emails should be really short and very specific subject title. It should provide the instructions, and it should explain to readers what the company does and what the apps are. It should be sending the updates, some general information, some educational messages to the target market.
So the implementation. This is a very brief thing. We broke down by quarter just for the sake of time. But there was 4 main quarters we wanted to go through. And this is starting even quarter 1B, starting in January. We just want to start the basic things, update the website, launch social media campaign, hand out some of the promotional pieces, the ad slicks and things to the community. Quarter 2, we wanted to launch a summer campaign, let parents know that even though summer's coming up, kids can still be learning their fundamentals. You don't want them to forget what they've learned all year. Let's face it, I mean, I know I forgot half the stuff that I learned. Quarter 3, I think we can launch a back-to-school campaign, let parents know, let schools know how kids can benefit from these apps as the kids are going back to school. In quarter 4, we want to take a step back and look at how the year went. We want to analyze how these campaigns went, set the goals for next year, and we also want to conduct market research because we feel we'll have some more consumers downloading these there's more people we can survey, give questionnaires to, and find out how they like the app, things they would improve, stuff like that.
We believe that KidsSmarter is amazing. It has a lot of potential, and it's beneficial for the society. That's why we love KidsSmarter. However, there are some things that should be fixed with this. For example, the brand needs to be more known for the people. But we believe that all the implementations, the recommendations that he worked on is going to help the company to grow and achieve the success and have profits and become more popular. Thank you for your attention. Have good holidays. And yeah, questions please.
But we are really coming in close, so we just need to get a few questions.
How do you monetize the app? Or do you sell to a school who uses it? Is it through the parent downloading or through the school?
When I don't sell to the schools, I give them to the schools.
Okay.
And then through the schools, the kids play in the iPads of the school, and then they go home and hopefully they'll download them in their iPads.
Right. So you monetize through the parents at home or through the at home
It
app?
would be the parents, because the kids can't tell the parents to download the app.
I have two questions. One, did you explore the concept of celebrity endorsement? You know, somebody noted, and the second one is, if there was one thing that you would pick out that would drive it, because it's such a saturated market, drive it to the top, what would that be?
I'll take the second question. Because it is saturated, and a lot of these apps are very similar. But there's a few things that are different. These are one of the few apps that doesn't, where you're not going to get pop-ups, you're not going to get ads, because you're going to be seeing that, and we won't be tracking your, how much you're using the app and things like that. I think the language also is a big differentiator. A lot of these apps, a lot of the other apps are just in English. And so I think providing another language option can take us globally. And even for parents that want their kids to learn a new language, they can start learning, maybe 3 years old, use number sounds, start learning how to count Spanish and build a foundation that way. So that's just a few of the key things. And also, it's hard to tell with other apps, but I think if we can build a relationship, build the face, she can be the face of KidsSmarter, something that consumers can connect with, develop a relationship with, not just on a business level, but on a personal level. I think that's another way to differentiate.
And also the first other question was celebrity endorsement. I worked with other companies and we found that you really actually pay and celebrities to endorse. I work with a nonprofit and that's kind of what we had to do. So maybe another route would be to look into the community, look at the current schools. There's a lot of successful parents out there, and maybe branch out there and network. So maybe someone locally would be willing to do it, where you don't have to worry about the money issue.
Well, I was intrigued by your the blogging thing, get those mommy bloggers out there. So that was interesting.
Yes.
Well, I'm coming from an educator's point of view here, rather than marketing, and I guess our question is just in terms of, might you consider saying this supports state standards, or this correlates with instruction from the Everyday Meal program, things like that. And then, is there an application that will speak up as the children understand the concept, so that if you have this concept down, do new questions come that make it more challenging, more difficult, so that you're growing with the understanding of the child in terms of their concepts and the application of it, but is the understanding going to increase through the program as well?
Actually, it's the That's how she designed it. So as you start to play, it's more and more challenging, and even the multiplication part, I think the numbers got up to 5 digits times 5 digits. So it gets really. Let's clarify that. So I'm a person I work with a very smart person. Not everybody thinks like he does. Yeah, that's a great point. The idea that it can actually help schools. So we'll take one last question. Yes.
Okay. So I just have something like with the social media marketing. You hear a lot of like the KidsSmarter brand itself, and Scott and I were like, okay, let's look this up on the App Store. So we typed in KidsSmarter, and nothing came up. And obviously, how you're getting revenues through the individual apps. And it took us a minute or so to realize that KidsSmarter is the brand, and then you're not buying the brand itself, you're buying the apps. So once we typed in like the name of the app, then we found it and we could it, and that's how you get your money. But so I don't know if there's a way, because obviously you want your brand there, but you also have to make sure you're not buying that, you're buying the actual product. So maybe you have doing that.
And that's what happened in the first interview. I went on KidsSmarter. The person said, great. So they didn't get the product. So that was intense.
Is there any way you can put the brand in the app? I mean, the brand as part of the name. We could do like KidsSmarter Money Mash or something like that. And have it as all part of the name. Like you've got this thing called minus strategy. We call it KidsSmarter minus strategy. It's enlisted in the App Store that way, so that when people get the Kids Store, they see all 5 apps.
When you're getting the icons in the App Store, you need to choose a short name so you can identify the app with a name. So if I have KidsSmarter, I can't do that.
You can't do it.
That's interesting. Okay, that's good. KS app. It's good idea. Thank you very much.
And then like really quick, like if you wanted to like personalize it like through the blog and everything, maybe like instead of like the stock image of like a mom and a daughter, like maybe have like your face on there with your kids or something, or some parent rather than just like typical image you see like everywhere.
This particular app has the opportunity for just a great groundswell community, push. And if you created a game or a contest sponsored by the local library, the local school district, we're going to have a KidsSmarter night. And we want as many people playing, and then post it to Facebook, and we're going to give away an iPad, whatever it is, right? But if you get that community groundswell, I think you could boost it a little quick.
We got it. Okay, well, that is enough. That's all the time we have for questions. So thank you so much for